All right, man. So I found a video about Super Hot Fire. If anybody's old enough, you know he was one of the big creators when YouTube started to pick up traction. So I didn't know he was still active in the field, but apparently he's doing TV shows and stuff like that. But he's being interviewed by Adam 21, and let's see what's going on.
The Soulja Boy episode, I feel like he was the first one to reach out as far as like mainstream superstars.
Nah, Chris Rock was the first mainstream superstar.
But Comedy Central put you with Chris Rock, or
No.
he just reached out?
Yeah, he just reached out. His people emailed me.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah,
Just a super sized celebrity. Like he's just so big. Pause.
yeah, I know. He's so big. He is, but he was hating on me.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Rock was hating on me a lot.
In what way?
Well, a lot of ways.
Well, because you didn't come up as a stand-up or whatever, so maybe he's not looking at you as being legit.
Nah, that too. He told me he got on me about stand-up. Told me I'd never be a good stand-up comedian. Some little hating stuff he was doing with the pilot. But my thing is, I tell people Chris Rock was hating on me, and then everybody's like, "What? Why would he hate on you?" And it's just,
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know the dude, either one of them, but just watching Chris Rock, do his TV shows, movies, stand up as I was growing up, I always kind of looked at him like, okay, he seemed like a cool dude, but I also thought in the back of my head was like, he looked like he be doing some fuck shit. So like you can't trust him. You know what I mean? Like what they say, always look at the eyes. The eyes always give it away. So his eyes always gave it away. So I always looked at him like, I'm like, I don't know about this dude. I mean, his work, I enjoy it, but as far as me like hanging out with him or trusting him, I was like, nah, something ain't right about this dude. That's the thing too. Like, you can enjoy somebody's work, but you don't have to like them. You don't have to be a fan of theirs. You can just enjoy their work. So it's a difference between I enjoy what they do, but would I hang out with them? No. So he's one of them guys. So by him bringing that up, I'm not surprised. Like I say, he wouldn't lie on that. Like people like him, you can tell he's real genuine. He ain't gonna lie about that. Why would he lie about that? Like, that's not gonna bring him money. Like if he did something to him, that'll he can sue him. But as far as like, oh, he was hating on me, that's not gonna do nothing for him. So when people say, oh, why would we hate on you? Because they saying this man got all this money, he a huge celebrity. Why would we hate on you? And you not on this level. That happens all the time. Matter of fact, when I used to have all these jobs growing up. Every time I had one of these jobs, the main problem, if any, the only problem at the work site would be the older black guys. It wasn't a lot of them. It was always one. Life didn't beat them down. They see this young black guy come in and got a lot of energy and motivation. They don't like that because a lot of them, at the time, they was in their 40s and up, late 40s and up. And they've been divorced, they paying child support, yada, yada, yada. So I say this all the time, black people, they got this thing where they got this self-hate with them. So if anybody who has melanin, they feel like they can disrespect them too. They feel like their life isn't worth anything too because they believe that about themselves. So that's why I stay away from a lot of them. So be very mindful of that. Like black people are really good at disrespecting each other. And keep in mind, they don't know each other. That's even more crazy because normally you'll get that from people who actually know each other. But with black people, complete stranger, you can be living in Denver, Colorado. The other black dudes be living in fucking Washington, D.C. They cross paths, black guys say something out of line. Try to degrade them. They don't even know each other, never seen each other before. So that happens a lot, especially if you're in a low income area. You gotta really watch out for that because they don't have respect for themselves. So they feel like, okay, I ain't got no respect for myself. So when I see somebody who look like me, I'm not gonna respect them. And that's why a lot of them, they be having that black on black violence because they don't know how to, be respectful of each other. Now, if it's like somebody else, they be all cool with you, this and that. But if you look like them, or not look like them, you got the same, if you have any melanin, they feel like that. So just be aware, it's very common for black people to avoid each other because of that situation right there. They don't want any conflicts because they know that. So just be aware of that. So just because that guy got a lot of money, don't mean, that's the thing too, just because somebody doing better than you don't mean that they won't be hating on you. That happens all the time. So I definitely believe him on that. So I always looked at Chris Rock like, yeah, I mean, I like the work he do, but I don't trust that dude. So I'm not surprised that he brought that up. So I guess my instincts was right about him.
it's like, damn, it's possible. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. He has $100 million. I
Why
get his
reach
household
out
name.
to hate?
You know what I mean? Sometimes people get signed to get shelved.
Yeah.
sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes people reach out, you know what I mean, to make sure this, this doesn't go too well.
But it's also like that time period, it was way more of a like culture. The whole world had this idea that you needed to earn your position. And now it's kind of like, oh, you're viral? Cool. With you. You're legit because people care about you. And I feel like at that time, so many more subcultures, like you needed to prove yourself.
Yeah, it was a different time, you know, because, you know, I was one of the first ones crossing over into, you know, mainstream, you know what I mean? Now it's like automatic. Now you go to the mainstream, you go to these agencies, and they're like, how many Instagram followers do you have?
Yeah.
That's now.
Yeah.
Back then in 2011, you know, it was the complete opposite. Like, well, this YouTuber, da da da. But yeah, the big guy to reach out to me was Chris Rock, and I feel like that didn't go right because he was hating on me, and then when I tell people he was hating on me, people are like, why would he hate on you? And I'm like, that's disrespectful. All right, I'm hate onable. You know what I mean? Don't think you can't hate on me because your career is going a little better. It's possible. You know what I mean? But I mean, let's let.
And that's the problem too with the black community. Not saying because you know, for somebody who don't know, they assume that black people don't have these resources and all this. No, they have it. It's just they don't pass it down to the next generation. There's so many stories I heard about the mama or the grandparents or whatever. Soon they got old enough, they sold the business off to somebody else instead of passing it down to their kids. That happens a lot. So you have again, it goes back to that self-hating. And I tell you all the time, you know, it's very common for black women to hate on their daughters. So a lot of times they mom be in a good position financially, and they can just simply just teach their daughters, and you know, and they can pass the business on to them. But they'll never do that. They'll normally sell the business off to a complete stranger, so their daughters won't benefit off of that. So that happens a lot too. So in this case, if Super High Fire was an old dude, Chris Rock, of course he wouldn't have reached out to him, but he wouldn't have gave a fuck. But the simple fact that he's a young guy, he has a lot of followers, and he has a lot of momentum. They don't like that. That's very common in the black community. So don't think that every black person. No, you got a lot of financially wealthy black people in America, but a lot of them, they won't pass that business down. They won't pass that knowledge down to their kids because they don't want to see them do great. You know, it's that whole crab in the bucket mentality. It's very true, bro. Like if you black, you know. So that's just the sad reality. But yeah, keep in mind the guy. Everybody know who Chris Rock is. Not saying Super High Five, they know who he is too, but not on the level as Chris Rock. And of course, Chris Rock got a shitload of money, but still, even with that, he's still hating on that dude because he's a young black man. If he was a young white dude, a Mexican, Asian, he wouldn't have these situations. So I'll say not on this level. I'll say that for sure. But that's just very common in the black community because no matter what, no matter how many Martin Luther King speeches you bring up online, they don't care, bro. They do not care. If that was the case, why are so many black women out here running around, you know, prostituting and stuff like that? Because they mama don't take care of them. They mama don't look out for them. They mamas hate them, bro. A lot of them girls been attacked and sexual abused, and they mama know it and don't give a fuck. So it's just real deep, bro. We're gonna talk about that as we go along with these videos I keep posting. I'm gonna bring it up. So I'm gonna get real deep in that conversation. But it's real bad. You just gotta watch out. Not all skin folk is kin folk. I'll tell you that.
But for instance, this one instance, I could talk about this shit for hours.
Yeah.
But I got this deal for Comedy Central, right? Big ass contract. I'm talking about biggest. So Chris Rock, you know, we got a pilot. Deshaun Raw, executive producer Chris Rock. I get this big ass contract from Comedy Central, right? So I'm skimming through it, and then I see Comedy Central will own Super High Fire. It will own the name. It will own your channel. It will own everything, your soul, all that. So I'm looking, and I'm like, yo, yo, what is this about them owning my channel and them owning my name and them owning me and owning everything? Like, this is page 9 of 900. So they like, oh yeah, okay, you don't like that? Okay, we'll take that out.
Yeah.
I get the contract back. Now it's 899 pages. So I'm like, all right, so if there's that one thing in there that said they own everything I ever do and I could never even drop another Super High Fire battle without Comedy Central being involved, I don't even own my name no more.
Yeah.
If I see that in the contract and then y'all give it back to me and y'all say, we took that out, but the shit is still 1,000 pages, it's like, nah, I don't think I should be.
Did you even have a lawyer?
Nah. My lawyer was
a random person.
No, my lawyer was the lawyer that Chris Rock and Comedy Central gave me.
Oh,
my lawyer was their lawyer.
Yeah, he fucked up with that. I mean, good thing he did skim over the contract. He found that, but you know, when you, people, this is the thing too. Y'all be having too much trust in people. I tell y'all all the time, man. All these stories that be coming out, I don't trust nobody. I don't care. I don't trust nobody. So the fact that he using Chris Rock to, you know, they don't even sound right. Like, why are you using somebody else's lawyer to look out for you? Like, no, get your own lawyer, dude, and make sure he's a solid dude. Because I heard a lot of stories, especially in the music industry, they'll pay, you know, the artist lawyer off, and he'll just convince him to sign the contract. He's still in the 360 deal, so they getting a lawyer, so they won't get a 360 deal, and they lawyer flip on them, and they end up convincing them to sign a 360 deal anyway. So that happens a lot. So you got to make sure the person is not just there for the money. They really trying to look out for you as well. I understand they're not doing it for fun. They're doing it for funds, but still make sure you get you a solid lawyer that's gonna really look out for you, bro. But that happens a lot. But he messed up by just, oh, I'm using Chris Rock lawyer. No, get your own lawyer. Because at the end of the day, we all know Chris Rock trying to fuck over on him, trying to get over on him. The network already trying to screw over him. So you already know Chris Rock trying to screw over him, trying to screw him at the same time. So he dealing with two obstacles already. So it's so important, man. Read the paperwork. You know, make sure you get you a solid lawyer. If you got the funds, get two lawyers. But make sure them lawyers are legit. Because if you get you a shady ass lawyer, they gon' lie to you too, bro. They gonna, oh yeah, the contract good, and then next thing you know, you signed a 360 deal where you don't own nothing. You don't own nothing. So, you know, that's, yeah, he can't be doing that. He can't be trusting somebody else to look out for you, like, you know, somebody else lawyer to look out for you. Nah. So obviously Chris Rock is trying to screw the dude. The network already trying to screw the dude. So nah.
My lawyer was the people that want to get money.
Yeah.
This is my thing. This is my thing. This is how I looked at it, basically. The contract was fucked up. I said, I don't like it. They give it back to me. It's still fucked up. I'm like, I don't think I want to get picked up because this shit is some slave shit. Look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was just on Netflix 2 years ago. Like, I didn't get paid what I was supposed to get paid. That's Dave fucking Chappelle, the #1 selling DVD of all time. So what the fuck you think they're going to do to me? What the fuck? They got me into the worst contract in the world, and then they in on it. So here's my thing. Let's just say this shit goes well. Best case scenario, boom. I do let's say the show goes well. Boom. I do a season, it blows up. I do 2 seasons, it blows up. Chris Rock is executive producer. So let's just say this shit blow up. This guy is gonna make millions of dollars off this show. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't write. He didn't come up with the skits.
And that's the thing too. Like, not saying he can't help, because he do have experience, but I mean, let's be honest, is he the best comedian? No. But the fact that this dude is like 20 years younger than him, they can't relate. So what are you gonna help him with? I mean, you're gonna help him with how to maneuver in the business, but we can, as you can see that out of his own mouth, Chris Rock's trying to screw the man as well. So at the end of the day, it's like, what can you help him with as far as, you know, him doing comedy? Because y'all not even close to it. Y'all completely different. Like I said, dude, Chris Rock got 20 years on a dude. Chris Rock like what, 60-something, 50-something years old? This dude like 30-something in his early 30s. So y'all not gonna relate it as far as comedy. It's a totally different time. You got Eddie Murphy, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, but it's different. Now the comedy back then was, like I told y'all before, you know, now everything's soft. You can't say that, you know, don't do that. So the comedy in the 80s and 90s is completely different, you know, from the comedies in today's time in 2026. So the same thing with him trying to help out Super High Fire. It's like, what are you going to help him out as far as comedy with? It's like, y'all don't have the same, no, you're 2 different eras of comedy. That's just what it is. So you get Chris Rock right now trying to, you know, do a stand-up show in front of a whole bunch of people in their 30s and back. It's not going to be the same, because first of all, they don't know who the fuck you are. You know, if anything, maybe the people in their 30s know something about you. Everybody know about you because of the slap, but as far as you being that funny comedian, they're not gonna laugh at your jokes, because you know it's a totally different group of people. Now somebody, you know, in their 50s and up, yeah, but this is what it is. So I don't see him helping him on, oh man, let me help you out in this skit, do this on this. It's not gonna work, because y'all just completely 2 different eras. And like I say, he 20 plus years older than Super High Fire. Y'all not gonna relate. So he's basically just got the dude, get him to sign the contract. You know, the company gonna break him off a portion. Like you say, he's the producer or whatever, executive producer of the show, and he not doing shit. Because what can you do besides, you know, help him not get screwed over by the company, which you're not gonna do because you're trying to screw him too. Other than that, you can't help him writing the skits because we're not gonna relate to your way of jokes or you know, if you do skits, if you did do skits before, we're not gonna relate to your kind of skits. We're gonna relate to super high fire skits because we all in the same age group. We're gonna relate off that. So again, he just okay, I'm gonna sign this dude. Y'all give me this much off the shows or whatever like that, and he just basically sit back. That's all he's doing. So
He wasn't there when we were shooting it. He wasn't like
you wasn't shooting in the gym. Who was that? Rick Ross? Or I think everybody was saying that back then. But you wasn't with me in the gym. What is it? You would be shooting in the gym. That's what it is. So he just sitting back getting easy money.
he walked me in to like, oh yeah, to make him money. You know what I mean? But it's like, we're working on a show. You're supposed to be executive producer. You've done nothing with this show to help, but be mean. And that.
What did I tell you? He ain't doing nothing. He just sitting back and waiting for everything to roll so he can get his free money. He can't help anyway. Like, how are you gonna help him as far as comedy? Again, it's just two different eras. Like, it's you too old, bro, to be trying to help a young dude with some skits. Like, he already been killing by himself. Like I said, just by him just uploading the videos already. So he know what he's doing. So believe it or not, he knows what he's doing. He got his own fan base. He knows what he's doing. Only thing for him to do is just make sure he ain't doing nothing crazy, right? Other than that, but he not even doing it. He just attacking him. Oh, you owe me. You know, that's I already know. That's how a lot of people be like that. Like, especially if it's their own people. Oh, you owe me. You know, you wouldn't have got this position wasn't for me. So he using that. He trying to belittle him. I already know. That's typically how they do because they hating, bro. They hate us.
Negative. Like, I wanted my show to have wraparounds, like where it's a skit and then I come on stage and I introduce the show, like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like the Chris Rock show. Chris Rock is like, oh no, you can't be on stage. You can't be on stage. You're not a stand-up comedian. You're not a stage type artist. I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. He's talking to me really crazy. So then he's like, oh, you can't go on stage, right? So then we do the pilot. I deliver the pilot. Comedy Central says we don't like the wraparounds. Because instead of me being on stage, I'm at my fucking house at a pool party on some young IE shit, having fun, kicking it with the homies, sending it to skits. It makes no fucking sense. Comedy Central's like, oh, we don't like the wraparounds. Bitch, this ain't the wraparounds I wanted to do.
Right.
These are the wraparounds Chris Rock told.
And see, this is the thing too. Like, he got so much hate in him. He messing up his money. So instead of you just listening to the young man and guiding him, you want to sabotage him. So like, what's the point of you, helping him get signed with the company if you're going to turn around and sabotage him? That's common in the black community. I'm trying to tell you, man, self-hate is real. That's that jealousy, man.
Told me to do. If I would did the wraparounds the way I wanted to do the wraparounds, they would have liked the wraparounds.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As you hearing it out of his own mouth, he knows what he's doing. But Chris Rock is just sabotaging him. It's like, bro, if that's the case, then why'd you even call him up? So the fact that what really pissed him off is he caught on to that contract. That's what started it. It was all fun and game. Well, they say it was all good about a week ago. And then, but until he caught on to that contract, that's when everything started falling apart because he's like, oh, damn, I thought I had me a sucker. So I noticed that too when he brought up the contract, they had that contract dispute. That's when everything started going downhill. So that's really what it was. He thought he had him a sucker. He found out that he wasn't a sucker. And now he like, oh, I'm about to try to mess his stuff up. So that's what it is.
And then another time he talked to me crazy in front of J-Rock.
Really?
Yeah, I was filming a
So
skit.
J-Rock was like a
J-Rock
special
was there.
guest for an
J-Rock
episode?
was there and seen that nigga talk to me crazy. J-Rock, I was filming a skit where the skit was J-Rock was addicted to drugs and I was addicted to social media.
Okay.
So I come in there and I'm doing flashbacks about how I'm addicted to social media and how I started. And he's my therapist and he's doing different drugs. And it's escalating up and up. It's a funny skit.
Okay. So
So boom, I'm telling Chris Rock I don't want to be super hot fire in the pilot. I just want to be Deshaun Raw. You know what I mean? Like I just want to do that. So super hot fire, so Chris Rock's like, you gotta do super hot fire, you gotta do super hot fire. I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like I want to just do a Deshaun Ross show. So boom, I'm in a room with J-Rock. You can ask J-Rock. I'm in a room with J-Rock. We filming the skit, right? Chris Rock come in. boom, boom, boom. He like, hey, Deshaun, I need to talk to you. Mind you, I'm in the middle of a fucking skit.
I'm gonna say this too. At the time, it was messed up, but after hearing Deshaun, experience with Chris Rock, I'm glad Will Smith slapped the fuck out of that nigga. I'm glad that happened to him. So I'm standing 10 toes down on that. I'm glad that happened to him.
It's J-Rock. It's Comedy Central. It's pressure. So I'm locked in. I'm like, I'm not being rude. I'm not being mean. I'm just like, oh, hold on, Chris. Let me finish this line real quick. Let me finish this skit real quick, and then I'm gonna come talk to you. That's all I said. So Chris Rock come in. I'm with J-Rock. He like, hey, Deshaun, let me talk to you. I'm like, nah. I'm like, hold on. Let me finish this real quick and as respectful as possible. Let me finish this real quick. I'll come out and talk to you. Let me just get this skit out. Like, I'm been working on the skit. Let me get it out. I'll come talk to you.
In the zone.
He says, Chris Rock says, what? Nigga, I'll shut this whole shit down right now. I said, all right, J-Rock, let me talk to you in a minute. Yes, Chris? Yes, Chris? Like, bitch, you can't talk to me like that. But that's how they want to talk to you. That's how they want to treat you. So, bro, I'm filming my show, my Comedy Central show. Boom. Chris Rock comes in there. It's like, let me talk to you. I'm like, hold on, let me.
See, this is the thing too, because as a comedian, them guys coming up, it's a rough life. Y'all see like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, them guys. It's a rough life. Like coming up to, not all. Let's be honest, not all of them gonna make it to that top level, but just dealing with that, the atmosphere of being a stand-up comedian, it's rough. And somebody like Chris Rock, I already know he'd been punked and stuff like that when he was coming up, didn't really have a lot of respect. And I remember in the 90s, nobody really, nobody was really feeling with him like that. He was just like Michael Blackson, he all right, but it's like, if he do a show, all right, if he don't, whatever. That's how Chris Rock was, in the 90s. Like nobody really treated him, let's be honest, nobody treated him like a superstar. He was just like a comedian, and everybody's like, it's like the little brother. Like, oh, your mama tell you to take him with you. It's like you don't want him to come, but it's like, okay, your mama told you to do it, so whatever. It's like that with Chris Rock. So I already know by him when he was younger, coming up, a lot of people was trashing him and stuff like that. So now that he has some authority, he want to take it out on somebody because at the time he couldn't do it because he was, he wasn't that guy back then. I mean, he's still not now. He's like, all right, whatever. He's been in the industry for so long, but like on that level, like nobody respected him. So he took all that frustration and he sees somebody that he has some control over. Now he abusing his authority. That's typical, you know what I mean? So that's why he treating him like that, because all his life he been getting kicked around. And then on top of that, the Chris Rock slap that'll never leave him. He more famous over the slap than his whole career, which is true, but also sad at the same time. So he want to take his anger out on somebody, and it's not gonna be Will Smith. So he gonna do it with Deshaun. That's just what it is.
Finish my skit. He then says in front of all my homies, I'm with my friends. They gonna have to. I gotta answer this now. And he like, man, I'll shut this shit down right now. And I'm just like, okay, let me see what he has to say. You know what I mean? This is a big opportunity for me. Right. But at the end of the day, it's that and other conversations where it's like, yo, this nigga is mean as this nigga's rude as I see why everybody hates him. Yeah. Like, he literally doesn't have friends. He's mean. He talked to me crazy on multiple occasions. And I know a lot of people be like, well, just deal with it. Get your show, get your money, you just deal with it. No, I'm not like that. Everybody's like, oh, well, you just gotta suck it up. Let this nigga talk to you crazy. And then everybody else I know.
But why though? Just be a businessman and handle business. That's all it is to it. Like, I know we got some miserable people out there. I hear that a lot. People that, that work at the office, always something. But it's like, just do the job and go home. Why you just can't keep it professional? They can't do it. So understand when stories like this get out thanks to the internet, now when somebody else see him, they gonna treat him dirty. Like, he did it to himself. Now, I heard other stories about other celebrities as well, but it's like, bro, just keep professional, get the job done, and keep it pushing. So instead of you being a good, what is he? He said I forgot what he called it, the show leading producer, whatever, and getting your name out there in a good light. Now everybody know how you really are, so this is gonna get worse. So you might get another Will Smith slap. You know what I mean? If you keep it up, but it's just like, you got some people who just trash, bro. Like, people like that are just miserable people. That's all it is. So you can look at them and tell, it's like, Nah, bro. Like you're not attractive whatsoever. You have some money, you have some recognition, but no, you have a regular guy working at fucking FedEx that get more females than you. This is what it is. So all this stuff is going against him. So instead of him being a cool guy, which I'm pretty sure he was at the beginning of his career, he realized that didn't work. Everybody keeps shitting on him. So he's like, I'm gonna be an asshole, and people still gonna shit on you. This is what it is. So
Would be like, oh yeah, I would just let Chris Rock talk to me crazy and just star in movies and shit. No, nigga.
Right.
I'm not letting you talk to me crazy.
Okay, because just a devil advocate, this like there is that mentality of like, okay, if Kanye wants to sign you, yeah, he might be giving you a fucked up deal, but ultimately he could turn you into a household name. You know, if Atlantic Records wants to sign you to be a rapper, yeah, they might put you on a fucked up deal where you're not going to make nearly as much money on it as you would on an independent level, but they're going to blow you up to the point where maybe at one point, a couple years later, you go your separate ways, and they made your name so much bigger that you're able to profit off that for the rest of your life. But one thing I will say is that even in like 2012, Comedy Central's ability to do that was not nearly what it would have been.
Cutting the cord.
10 years before that.
yeah, see that's the thing too. What Adam's saying is, it's true, but it's not guaranteed. That's an if. At the end of the day, you can't be relying off these companies to make you, bro. You have to make yourself first. That way, when you go to these companies, if you go to these companies, you have leverage. He didn't say that part. You have to have leverage. If you don't have leverage, they're going to hold you every single time. So a lot of these artists, they go in there, they don't have anything, any work, any experience, any connections, nothing. They going to hold them every single time. They get the 360 deal off rip because they don't have any leverage. They didn't put in any work. It's like going to a job. Okay, you get a job faster if I go to McDonald's compared to me trying to be a lawyer. You know, it's certain. It's so many levels you have to go through to be a actual lawyer. That's like me never having a job and going straight to a law firm. That hey, I want to be an attorney. Are you hiring? Yeah. You got any experience? Nope. All right. You been to school, high school. You been to college, right? Nope. Law firm? Nope. Well, you don't qualify. Same thing. So why would they hire you? And on top of that, you want to make 300,000. You go to the interview and ask how much you plan. What's the ideal goal salary wise? You say 300K. You got no experience. You never went to school. Same thing. So don't go to these companies with nothing, no following, no work, nothing, and expect them to go over the top for you. That's never going to happen. They're just going to sign that bullshit ass deal. They're going to have you do like 30 fucking albums. You ain't going to make it past the second album. They're going to drop you and that's it. They're going to own everything you done for the rest of their life. So
there was no way for you to make a name for yourself really besides getting like a TV deal. By the time you were coming out, it was starting to get to the point where you could be really fucking famous without the TV networks.
Yeah, so you think it's okay for Chris Rock to be like, oh, come talk to me right now or I'll shut this whole shit down?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying like I kind of get why a lot of people would deal with it because especially like back then during that era, sometimes it felt like you just maybe had to just roll with that shit.
Yeah,
but I respect that
you
were not the kind of guy that was going to go with
There
it.
is an era where you got to roll with that shit, but unfortunately there's the internet now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was signed to ICM. I had the same agent as Adam Sandler. We had the same agent, but I was supposed to be next.
And did they help you get that Comedy Central situation, or was that independent of that?
No. What happened was a few people wanted to give me a show. I had like a few little offers for shows. Will Smith production company, Overbrook. I think some other network. I knew this one guy, like Nick Bernstein, that he took me to MTV, and I had a few little offers for shows. So I told Chris Rock on the phone, I'm like, bro, I need a show. Like either I'm gonna go through you to get a show, or I'm gonna have to go through somebody else to get a show. He was like, oh man, f with me, I got you. So he took me to HBO. He took me to Fox. He took me to Comedy Central. He took me to Viacom. He took me to the big boys, and I had my meetings in there, and it's so crazy at the meetings, he kept comparing me to Will Smith. Like all the meetings, he was like, he's the next Will Smith. He's the next Will Smith. Bro. And I'm like, this nigga don't know me. Like, I'm not really Will Smith as much as you think. You know what I mean? Like I understand that sellable is very sellable, but I'm a little bit more Tupac.
I mean, Will Smith is like the most clean cut.
That's what he was trying to sell me as.
And you were always knew that you would prefer to do a little bit more edgy.
No, I don't have nothing wrong with clean cut. You know what I mean? But yeah, I did kind of like I like the Eddie Murphy. I like the Richard Pryor. Those guys are opposite of Will Smith. If you look at their catalog and stuff. So, you know, he just thought a certain way, and I'm just like, nah, that's not how I'm trying to do it. You know, he be telling me what to do. He be talking to me crazy on the phone, talking to me crazy in person. And it's just like, that's why I'm like, that's not gonna work out. But I told Chris Rock, I told him, I said, I told him Cat Williams was funnier than him though on the phone. I had to tell him that.
And he said what?
He was just
everybody
quiet.
funnier than him.
Yeah, I said, look, we were talking, we were having a good conversation. Like we were talking on the phone. It was like a 40-minute conversation. And it was talking about comedy. And I was like, bro, the funniest comedy special ever is Pimp Chronicles. So we talking about this, we talking about football, we talking about this. I said the number one funniest comedy is Pimp Chronicles. Hello? Hello, Chris?
Does he even have what? I know he did some shows. I watched like one. I know for sure I watched one. But as far as like the actual stand, like a comedy, like a Cat Williams or something like that, do we even have one of those? I don't think he do. Well, I'll tell you one thing, he's not on Netflix. I'm pretty sure, I want to say 100% he ain't got no stand-up show on Netflix. I think he do. I know I watched one of them, but he don't have a whole lot of them. I'll say that if he do. I don't want to just say he doesn't, he don't have any actual, but I know I watched one of them, and that wasn't a Netflix special. Of course, back then Netflix didn't come out, but now I don't. I mean, if I'm wrong, somebody tell me down below. But if anything, you don't have a whole lot of specials. As far as you can go look it up or something, I don't know, but yeah.
He got quiet, but I can't lie. Pimp Chronicles is the funniest thing I've seen.
But that's the thing too. It go that self-hate. Why wouldn't you agree with him? Like everybody know who Cat Williams is. Nobody. I mean, not saying Chris Rock. Nobody know who he is, but everybody know Cat Williams is way more famous than fucking Chris Rock. They wouldn't even put Chris Rock in the arena, the atmosphere, nowhere near Cat Williams. So for you not to even agree with him, that tell you everything right there. So so you funnier than Cat Williams? You ain't. You are like, it's between you and Michael Blackston. That's how y'all got y'all own. Y'all way at the back of y'all not even on the same bus. Y'all on another bus, way in the back of the bus. So y'all ain't touching none of y'all ain't touching fucking Eddie Murphy, Kevin. I know Kevin Hart ain't the same no more, but I tell you guys all the time, you can't be funny forever. But you're not messing with none of the greats, bro. You know we're in the room. So for you not to even acknowledge Cat Williams, you can't be a bigger hater than that, bro.
Every comedy special ever, Pimp Chronicles is funniest. And then he got quiet, and I was like, yeah, I don't think he liked that.
Was there a moment where the whole TV show dream just fully shattered and it was just over?
Nah, because like I said, there was instances to show me that I didn't want to do it. The contract situation. Like, bro, okay, let's say you bring me in to do a show, right? I get a contract. You the big homie though. Bro, why you not helping me with this contract? You know what I mean? Like, why are you? I feel like you're with them. You know what I mean?
He is.
If I want the deal to get done, I should probably help as much as possible.
See, the thing is, he thought he found him a sucker. That's what it was. He thought he was going to sign the contract without reading it. Because the company's gonna make their money. Chris Rock, he kissing ass, so he like, I'm gonna help you screw him over. He's trying to kiss. Instead of him just making sure the dude is legit. So that's what it is. That's what young black men had to deal with. He had to deal with the older black men, trying to stop you or hating on you. That's to this day you got to worry about that. So unless it's your dad, but other than that, yeah, that's very common. Young black men have to deal with so much, let alone their own. The guys they're supposed to be their mentor, they're supposed to be looking out for them, is trying to destroy them as well. So they deal with a lot on a daily basis. So that's just what that is. So instead of you trying to make sure everything is legit, crossing your I's and dotting your T's, you over here purposely trying to screw the man over. And you trying to do that so you can get some brownie points from the company who don't give a shit about you either. At the end of the day, they don't get paid first. So as long as they get their money, they don't give a shit how. As long as they get their money. But Chris Rock, trying to kiss ass to let's be honest, is a racist white man. And so yeah, he get everything he deserved, bro. So like I tell you guys all the time, I understand now. Will Smith, you know, I'm glad he slapped the fuck out of him. So
Yeah, it was just like it was just not feeling like really trustworthy. Like, bro, you see what's in the contract? Y'all get to own my name. What the
That's all bad, yeah.
So it was that, and then it was also like me not being able to do it the way I wanted to do it. Like, bro, you're the executive producer, Chris Rock. I want to do the wraparounds on stage. You're not letting me. I don't want to do super hot fire. You're making me. I'm doing it. You're doing that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, I have more fun doing my own YouTube videos at home.
yeah. All right, so there we go. I mean, like I said, I ain't know. I mean, I'm glad he's still, he's still active in the entertainment space. But that thing with Chris Rock is sad reality. But like I said, I dealt with that my damn self growing up, and like I said, I'm just very mindful of who I'm around. But that's nothing new to me. The fact that he dealing with that on that level from another black guy, terrible. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know down below. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, make sure you get you a legit lawyer. Make sure you have some kind of you have some footwork. Make sure you got something that you did in the back, right? You just can't show up to a company and you don't have any track record. Make sure you have a good track record. Make sure you got your legitimate lawyer, and make sure everything makes sense to you. Because at the end of the day, you the one have to do that. So yeah, he handled his business. He, very solid dude. I can tell by the conversation he had with Adam 22, but it's no surprise, man. So again, Chris Rock, I have no respect for him. I always wondered, whenever I used to see him, I'm like, man, it's the eyes, bro. They say all the time, it's the eyes, Chico, Scarface. Yeah, I know what it is. So it's not surprising that he's that kind of person. So. But yeah, anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you can donate something to my cash app, I really appreciate you. And yeah, until next time.